Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to review the Brazel French press and the pour over coffee method, pour over coffee maker by BODUM. And this is my first time buying those products. I usually use the Melita pour over coffee. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm going to start with the pour over coffee maker first, and then we'll do the French press after. Okay, so I'm now boiling my water at 200 degrees. You don't want to use boiling water. I'm not going to use just the steel filter that came with the pour over coffee maker. I'm also using a paper filter. So I'm using the Melita number 4. That's because I've watched a few videos on YouTube saying that the steel filter is not enough. It actually ruins the coffee and it filters too fast. And I'm going to wet the paper filter as well to remove that filter taste from the coffee. Okay, so now I'm adding about 28 grams, 28 grams of ground coffee. I'm using Kicking Horse, and I did not measure it on a scale. I'm using the BODUM rounded scoop, which I think is not the best way to measure coffee because depending on the type of coffee that you use, the weight is never the same. Okay, so I'm using a little bit of water now just to cover the grounds to let it bloom. It's going to take between 30 and 45 seconds. Usually 3 tablespoons of ground coffee gives me about 3 cups of coffee. So I'm going to let this sit for about 45 seconds, and after 45 seconds I'm going to pour the water again in a circular motion, not completely to the top but just enough, and then I'll use a spoon just to stir it a little bit. Obviously, I'm not doing a great job here because I'm trying to film at the same time. Now, when the water level starts to drop, this is when I'll continue pouring my water until I have enough water for 3 cups of coffee. Alright, now that's done, so I'm going to remove the filter and we'll give this coffee a taste. And I'm going to put the lid, it came with a little plastic lid. You can keep the coffee in the carafe if you're not going to drink the whole thing, which I'm not going to because I leave some coffee for the afternoon and then I microwave it. Not recommended, but I don't find that there's a difference with the taste. So now I'm going to stir it a little bit to let those flavors blend, and then I'll pour myself a cup of coffee. I think this was the second best coffee I've ever had. The first type was I've used the James Hoffman method. You can find it on YouTube, but it's very time consuming. So this method with the BODUM pour over was definitely worth it, and the coffee left no sediment whatsoever. And I've used almond milk. It tastes even better because I love almond milk. Now let's go ahead and use the French press. So I have here again 3 tablespoons of ground coffee, and I believe I'm going to use 2.5 cups of water. You're supposed to use, I think, a little less water in the French press. So I have my water at 200 degrees, not boiling water. And same thing, I'm going to add a little bit of coffee just to cover the ground, and we're gonna let that bloom for 45 seconds before adding the rest. Okay, so after 45 seconds, I'm going to add the remaining water. I have in total about 2.5 cups of water, and then we're gonna let that sit for approximately 4 minutes. At the 2 minutes mark, I'm going to stir it a little bit and then cover it. So in total, it's been resting for about 4 minutes with the lid on. Now after 4 minutes, I'm going to gently press it down. There's not much coffee because the French press that I got was the biggest size. I think it's the 34-ounce one. It makes about 8 cups of coffee, and it was on sale, so there's not much coffee. I would say 2.5 cups, maybe 3 small cups are in there. The coffee was definitely good, but very strong. So I think what I would do next time is add a little bit more water, but it can definitely work, and it tastes amazing with milk as well. But for me, I think the best coffee was made by the pour over method, and that's what I'm going to be using. Although the French press is also good, I think it's going to taste much better with milk in it instead, because it was indeed very strong. And it had also a lot of sediment, which I didn't like. So this is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.